There was another dating scandal in the K-pop industry. This one involved a member of aespa, Karina, and an actor named Lee Jae-wook. Right, Donna? Do you have any information about what happened that you could share with us briefly?
It was found that they were dating, like you said, and in response, a lot of people were very upset, and so she wrote this handwritten letter. The tone of it was incredibly apologetic. Some people even described it as groveling. She was saying that she realized how much she disappointed fans, and later on, people kind of received this in various ways, but some people thought it was a sort of national embarrassment. So yeah, it sort of impacted the SM stock price. And so definitely kind of rocked the boat because she is such a major idol. She's the leader of aespa, and, aespa only has 4 members. So, they can't really afford to lose a member.
Right. So we decided we were going to play a little game. We wanted to ask ourselves, what would happen if the K-pop industry dispensed with these bans on idols dating? And the first thing that occurred to me was that there seems to be something I've heard of called a parasocial relationship between fans and their idols. Do you have any of these kind of feelings for any idols in the industry?
I used to be a literal stan of Eminem in the past, but it was more a protective loyalty rather than a sort of parasocial romantic relationship. And I think it just goes to show you that there's lots of different layers that can occur to this kind of a relationship with an idol.
I have biases, but I don't think I have parasocial relationship with fans. I think for me, it's more a relationship of admiration.
I have to admit, I think that I suffer from this a little bit, and I do think that it impacts how much I like K-pop, and it in a way that I consider it part of the product, and I think that a lot of fans do, and I think that if it were removed, much like if you were to take out like the legitimacy of competition in sports, fans would like lose interest. Do you guys think that the K-pop industry would be able to survive this being removed from the product?
You mean the parasocial aspect of the relationship?
No, the fact that they are preventing their idols from dating. Like if they were suddenly to stop doing so, and this was no longer there, thus threatening maybe some of the parasocial relationships that exist between fans and idols, or like other casual fans like that just sort of enjoy the fantasy of following their idols and maybe having light fantasies of maybe romantic interest with them. There are maybe a lot of fans out there that fill a void in their lives. As you know, like industrialist countries are suffering from tremendously low birth rates. A lot of younger people, Gen Z, are being quizzically not dating, not having relationships, not engaging in sexual activity. And this is troubling older generations. So is it possible that the K-pop industry is, like, whether by design or by accident, benefiting from all this, such to the degree that if it were suddenly removed, that there would be maybe even a crash in like the viability of K-pop globally?
The thing is that I don't think that the scandal plays one single role in the K-pop world. I think it's an integral part of what's become the K-pop world, but it's also been evolving over the series of generations of K-pop stars, and it's now almost a triangulation between idols, fans, and the industry, and a sort of, chess game in a way of negotiation between them and what this relationship is. I think the relationship has evolved and it is evolving. So there are some stars and their relationships that cause scandal, and there are others that don't. And so I think it's really quite a complicated question to answer in a one-off, but I'm quite sure it's going to evolve and change, and that the industry will adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Donna, can you see like some positive effects of what would happen if companies suddenly stopped trying to control their idols from dating? Do you think do you see anything that could enhance the K-pop and the final product?
Well, I think it would cause the companies to come up with a new model of profitability, because this fan idol relationship that is based on a really high level of devotion is something that would have to be changed. I think if they just allowed their idols to date more freely and openly. But I think ultimately it would be worth it, because I think it would have a positive impact on the mental health of idols to not be so closely surveilled on this issue. So I would be pro going in this direction. I understand that would have a huge impact and that would probably have to um, take a major hit initially.
I think that it's like an eventuality that idols don't like having to live under this type of like restriction. And if they had their way, they would have freedom. And I think that it would only take the success of a couple idols to persevere through their public dating lives. For example, like Lisa from Blackpink and Jungkook of BTS. I can envision them having relationships and having not barely any significant effect to their record sales and concert sales, such that what would end up happening wouldn't be that every idol says, well, they're doing it, I can do it too. It would just cause a cultural change in the K-pop industry, and one that would maybe even soften the connection that this parasocial relationship that fans have with their idols, that it would just subtly change it to the point where fans would start letting go of this maybe obsession feeling. And I think that would potentially, like you said, be a betterment for the mental health of idols, and probably the betterment of the mental health of the fandoms out there, because I don't think anybody feels that this is like a healthy activity to get to the level where you are angry at your idol for getting in a relationship, something that's very natural and human to do.
I mean, I think it is moving in that direction already. So especially like if you go rewind the history, I mean, there was a point where idols could not date at all. And in fact, it was so hidden that sometimes people didn't find out that even my idols were married until like years later after they divorced and discovered that there's alimony payments going on. So, I think we've come a long way since then. And I think we are at a point now where most people accept that if you're like 5-10 years into your career, that and if your group has kind of gone in a lower level of production, that it's okay to marry like someone like Taeyang from Big Bang.
And Hyuna and Dawn are notable idols that had openly dated and even collaborated together, with their relationship being open, and enjoyed significant success. Donna, correct me if I'm wrong, but some idols, quote unquote, earn like sort of like the right to date. Like if they've had a certain amount of success and they've reached a certain age, that it's understood that there's an unspoken rule that you're then granted more freedom.
Right. Jisoo as well, right? And even though that relationship is over.
What do you think? Do you have any opinions on this? Do you have a parasocial relationship with your idol? Do you think that the K-pop industry would be able to handle a change like this? Do you want to see this change happen? We'd love to hear your comments and hear your thoughts and share them with us. And if you like what we do, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like. And with that, we will see you all next time